going to come down to what this sport has come down to for generations. Who left more of themselves in the ring the first time? I think Fury left more.
Even if Tyson Fury has learnt every lesson in the world from the first fight, Usyk will just change and do something different and adapt, won't he?
Both these men are adaptable. Both these men are dimensional. Both these men are, they have options. You couldn't be righter. Both of them, not just Usyk. The big man, the Fury, the former champion, let's not forget, this is a guy who started by boxing, that huge body of his being like a dancing bear, on twinkle toes, unbelievable, moving around, boxing, jamming, controlling, living on the outside, and then all of a sudden there came a time in that fight, I forget his name, from Sweden, the guy with the bad cut, where suddenly he had to go forward. What did he do? He saved that fight. It was a tough fight. He saved that fight by going forward. And then what does he do? He boxes against Wilder, and then he gets dropped in that last round, that famous round, the round that has brought him here, the round that has made him millions and millions of dollars. Without that round, he's not here. We're not talking about him. He's not a household name. He gets off the ground. Oh my God. He gets off the floor, I think it was the 11th round, and then goes and wins the 12th round. He gets a draw. A lot of people even thought he won the fight. And then what does he do? He fights him in the rematch, and he backs him up, and he knocks him out. He wins. So Fury has shown the ability to be versatile too. But to your point, the guy that you started with here, Usyk, he just adapt. If a lot of people have suggested, all right, let the big man back him up. The problem was he got backed up, and I think that was a problem. It wore him out a little bit. Yes, he didn't just run out of gas. What do you think, it's about going to a petrol station? I mean, he didn't just run out of gas. There was a reason why he got fatigued at that point. He got trapped on the corner. That pressure, there was a planned pressure by Usyk. It wasn't an accident. That was his game plan. Put pressure on. Pressure takes time to build. It takes time to break pipes. It takes time to get the results you want to get. As I said earlier, it's like putting money in a CD in the bank. You get interest later. You don't get the interest immediately. It takes a little time to get your money. It takes a little time to get your money and to get your results when you decide to pressure a guy. And it took about 9 rounds. I think it was the 9th round. And he got his results. And now people suggest, okay, this time you gotta switch the script. You gotta switch places now. You gotta be the guy who backs him up. You being Fury, you gotta back him up. You gotta push him back. You can't allow him to push you. You can't allow him to wear you out. You gotta be the boss in that kind of way. Okay, fine. To your point, if he goes and does that, Mr. Usyk will counterpunch, he will use his legs, he will box, he will use his jab, he will do what he has to do because he has shown the capabilities of wearing both masks, of being able to do those things, the same way as Fury has those options. That makes it an intriguing fight. That makes it a fight where you can make an argument again. It's the same argument you can make going into the first one for either guy to win, to have a chance to win. But I don't think it comes down to that. For me, my thoughts on this, it doesn't come down to any of that. Yeah, I mean, from a strategic standpoint, you're going to see those things play out. There's no doubt. Yeah, it's going to, all the right questions, bang. You know what it's going to come down to? It's going to come down to what this sport has come down to for generations. When there was an epic first fight, a battle, a war. It's going to come down to who left more of themselves in the ring the first time. It's going to come down to the same thing that the throw in Manila with Ali and Frazier, 2 great fighters, that came down to. That fight, really, both of those men, those gladiators, those warriors, those special fighters, they left a lot of themselves in the ring. They were never the same after that fight. Mm-hmm. And I believe, for my 50 years in this business, both of these great men left a lot in the ring that night. It comes down to who left more. And if you want my answer right away, I think Fury left more. I think Fury left more, and we'll see. It'll play out, as it always does, in front of us, in a way that only boxing can play out. But there's one other thing that will always be a thing when it comes to these two, and when it comes to Usyk. I said the same thing the first time when I picked Usyk to win the first fight. The same thing, and I'm not always right. I'm wrong, well, I'm more than I would like to admit. But since that one I happen to be right, let's jump on that. Let's do it in good old fashion of somebody wanting to only think about and talk about when he was right. The reason I picked Usyk the first time, all of the things we just touched on, those dimensions, yeah, that was equated into my handicapping of the fight, but it came down to the greatest attribute that Usyk has.
He knows how to win.
He knows how to win.
Yeah.
He just knows how to win. He finds a way, and you know what? He found a way again. But he found a way. A lot of people think he found a way in the ninth. I would differ. He found a way in his approach from the first round.
Yeah.
He was. I said this. I used this analogy earlier. When you go and you see a pot of water on a stove and the flame's on, the purpose is what? To boil the water. You don't need Teddy Atlas. I might be a great culinary expert, which I'm kind of not. My wife always says, he makes good eggs. He makes good eggs. The rest, not so good. The purpose is to boil the water. The purpose of putting pressure on someone, as Usyk did from the first round, is to boil the water. To get the same result that a pot of boiling water on a flame gets, to evaporate the water. The only difference is you're trying to evaporate that man. At the end of the day, that's what he did. So it didn't come, Teddy came down, he made a mistake in the night. No. Usyk made the right choice from the first round, and it paid off and gave him dividends. The water finally started to evaporate in the ninth round. And again, both guys have the option, if they're aware of these things, which they have to be, they have to be, and their people have to be, or you would hope they are, to decide what is the proper approach out of all the things I already mentioned this time. But it will come down, again, to the same thing like the drill in Manila. Who left more in the ring the last time they were both in the ring?
I asked Andy Lee, who's his trainer and his great friend.
He's doing a terrific job, Andy Lee, really, with Joe Parker, with him. He's done look, he was a world champion fighter. He was an Olympian. I actually caught his fights for NBC when he fought representing Irish Island in the Olympics. He was a terrific fighter, smart fighter, boxer, puncher, combination. And now I'm happy to see him get his just rewards, having success and having the recognition that he's gotten as a trainer.
And I asked him, in round 9 and his first professional loss, that might have either taken Fury's soul or reignited the best challenger mindset. And he sort of agreed, but he said he will not be able to know, no matter how much time he spent in the camp, he will not know until the bell goes. You've dealt with fighters on comebacks. I remember you telling me about Michael Moore after Foreman. Do you know the damage that it's had on a fighter, what's been taken away? Do you see it in a camp? Do you not know till the bell? When will you know on Saturday what's been snatched away from Tyson?
I've been there, I've done that. And again, not me. You're in 50 years in a business, you better have been there, done it. You probably have. And I've been there. I know the answer, at least for me. Mm-hmm. You do see it in the gym. Mm-hmm. I retired a guy, I'm not going to get into names, world level, champion level guy. And we went into a big fight. It turned out to be I'm not going to say final fight because then I start to give you too many clues, but a late fight in his career, right? And I knew all the things to be worried about. I knew all the signs to look for, all the things that would be concerning to me, and I saw them. I saw them. I didn't see them. I saw the iceberg sticking out of the ocean. I was worried about us becoming the Titanic running into that, but I saw it sticking out before we got there.
Yeah.
And it's good to see it before because otherwise you do run into the iceberg. But I didn't know. I said, how do I navigate around this? And I came up with the only answer that somebody I would hope that's competent about what they're doing and been in the business as long as I have been, where the experience is supposed to mean something. I said, I got to pull back a little bit, actually not accelerate forward. The same way as you avoid an iceberg, to actually pull back on the throttle, leave what I got left in this guy, leave it for the fight.
Yeah.
Like, of course, get in proper shape and proper training and please, yes. But the opposite of what a lot of people might think, to push more because you lost the fight. No. To be cognizant of what's proper at this point in his career and what's left. So it's still, whatever it is, it's still going to be the most it can be. That there was a reason why I thought this would be his last fight, and where everything had to be as perfect as possible if we were to win this fight. And that I had to be aware of these things and navigate around them in a proper way. And we did. We did the best, the best we could under those understood circumstances. And they have to be understood. You cannot, have your head up, where, in the clouds. Let's say that's a nice way of saying it. You have to know what you need to know. You can't be oblivious to those things. You shouldn't be. Unfortunately, there's people in my business that are. But that's for another discussion, and that's their situation. And it's good to know, because now you know how to drive that car. You know how to steer that ship, so to speak, when you are there that night. You know what already you're looking for. You're looking for icebergs, and you're trying to avoid those icebergs. And that has to go into your thinking. And there's two ways that can be influenced. It can be influenced where, let's go get it. While the getting's good. Like the line in The Godfather. Michael, let's get him while we still got the muscle. Let's get him now.
Yeah.
Let's go get these guys. Or you say, no, that's not go get it too soon. Let's not get worn out. Let's save something for the duration of this trip. Let's put a throttle on it early on, and maintain that throttle and that control. So that's, again, a very important decision that has to be made. But yes, you are aware, at least from my perspective, from my experience. You're aware. You might not want to be. I mean, we're human. I'd rather sometimes, you like to just go to bed with a clear head and, put your head on the pillow but when you're a trainer, your head's never on the pillow. Your head is always like, I hope I'm not right. I hope I'm not right about that, but I hope that I am right about the decision I've made about how to go about this, how to approach this. It's going to be, again, it adds to the intrigue. And it speaks to the point that I started this conversation with. Who left more in that square circle the last time they shared it?